Hi, all you SPMEs out there. Today's question has 3 answers, and you're going to want to stick around for the third answer because it's a secret as to where on the web you can find the absolute best royalties calculator for your self-publishing. So let's get into it. Today's question was, what is Amazon self-publishing royalties calculator? Now, this is an excellent question, and the person who asked this question is wondering the question of pricing. What price should you place your books at in order to maximize the royalties? But there's also another question there, which is, well, you obviously will make more if the pricing is a certain level versus a lower level on royalties. But then again, if the price is lower, you may sell more copies, which would mean a lower royalty rate would still result in a greater amount of money being made. And so trying to figure out this balance, and maybe we can find a calculator that can solve this problem. Well, we're going to answer this question in today's video. This is Chris Baird from selfpublishingmadeeasynow.com. Click the subscribe button because it will really help me help you and other people find this channel so I can get this useful information that has taken me thousands of hours to figure out to everybody else. So go ahead and just click the button and do me a little bit of a favor. And check out below in the description, and you can grab a copy of my completely free self-publishing checklist that will ensure that you are not making any of the mistakes that most self-publishers make way too often. Yeah, that is, even if they get their books self-published, they're making these mistakes. So go ahead and just check out that as well. So let's get into it. Too high of a price? Well, let me tell you a little bit about from my own story. I didn't even think about royalties when I first put my books onto the market. I put the books onto the market and I thought, well, I saw some of the royalties that would be based upon if I put this price, I get that royalties. But I didn't want to put the books too high of a price because everybody knows that if it's too high, well, then people will not buy your book. So choosing a really low price, even though the royalties would not be high, that would at least help me build a following, right? Well, maybe not, because the fact is that low prices I set them in order to not scare away the customer, but the problem was I lost royalties on these lower sales because it was assumed the books were of lower quality based upon the low price that was on those specific books, until somebody pointed out that the best price range for ebooks and paperback books based upon the royalties. And for me, where that ended up being, and now here comes a secret, even though I know it's not the secret answer of the day, it's something you're going to want to pay attention to. For your ebooks, you should be making at least $2 for every ebook you sell. And if it's a bundle of 2 ebooks put together, you need to make sure that you're making an additional $1 for each of those ebooks. So that would be, so for example, if we have 3 ebooks together as a bundle, you would have $2 for the first one, and then that would be an additional $2 for the following 2. So that's $4 in royalties. And for paperback books, we're going to want to make sure we're making at least $5 in royalties. And for every 6 copies we sell in a given month, we raise the price $1. That's it. It's a very, very simple strategy, and you will see the amount of money that's coming in start to go up. So many self-publishers make this mistake. And when you are logged into your account with your book, you can just type in the number and it will show you how much your royalties will be based on your page count and such. But we'll get into that in just a little bit. So I ended up doing this strategy, and what happened was I saw a gigantic increase in the sales, and also in terms of using this flexible pricing model upon changing the prices. And you have to keep in mind your Kindle books or your ebooks, they're simply driving traffic to your paperbacks. So that's usually where many people make most of their sales, is the royalties is on the paperbacks, and we use our Kindle books as a means to get them in there. So this is another one of those little points, a little secret that most people don't tell you, but here we're just sharing everything. I'm giving away everything. So that's another thing you're going to definitely not want to make a mistake on with regards to the prices. And the fact is, there is no such thing as too high of a price. The question is, am I making as much money on the royalties as possible? And for all of this, I was just using the account login to figure out what the calculator was for those particular ones. But let's get into exactly today's answers. What is Amazon Self-Publishing Royalties Calculator? Well, it's a there's different calculators online that will give you the ability to calculate what your royalties will be for ebooks or for paperback books on the different sites based upon a specific price. So you can put in your price and it will spit out exactly what your royalty will be based upon that, okay, for this exact book based on your sales. The other thing is there can be a problem here, though. Many of the royalties change from time to time where they're not flat, and also it can depend upon how many pictures, whether they're in color inside the books, how many pages of your paperback or your Kindle books. There's a whole series of little factors that are going to directly impact the royalties that you're going to be making on those books. And so this is something you're not going to want to not pay attention to, because here's the thing. On the royalty calculators, and I've looked around at a lot of them, they simply don't take into account, well, how many photos, how many pages, all of these things, what's on those pages, what type of paper, is it a hardback? There's just too many factors. And so they're doing their best to make a guess, but that is not the best place to get your royalty calculations done. The best place, and the secret answer of the day, is that the best calculator is on the self-publishing website itself. And that is to say that when you go on to Amazon or Ingram Spark or Smashwords, when you type in the price there for your book, it will automatically tell you the royalty rate that you're going to be making. You also can click on the information and it will tell you the basis of that. That's one of the reasons why whenever I have my books, I'm able to automatically, I just have an Excel just where it quickly puts those in. But that could change from time to time, and so it's always important to ground yourself on the website itself to make sure you put your book in there, and then we just see what exactly comes out of that in terms of what your royalties will be. And remember, your ebooks should be earning you $2 each, your paperbacks $5 each, and we raise the rates in the paperbacks, not the Kindle books. And then for each manuscript, we add an additional $1 onto the total price for all of them. We end them all in 99 cents. So that's just a little bit of strategy. I know sometimes it can be confusing if you're first just getting started, but that's something you're going to want to keep in mind. Now, have you tried a self-publishing royalties calculator? If you have, I want to know. So write yes below in the comments if you have, and write no if you haven't. That would really help me out. And check up above me here for more video answers to your self-publishing questions. Thanks.